He stood and watched as it fed, unsure whether to feed or not, but the voices within demanded, and as he wrestled with them, the daemon turned to him, and its voice roared across the landscape. "Feed, lost one! Feed!" He opened up his host, and allowed his essence to draw some of the maelstrom in, and was lost in the ecstasy of what he felt. The raw power of a prime, ripped apart, shredded to its purest form, and drawn into him. A sustenance that was in comparison to the taste of the host themselves, only there was so much more of it here, and he began to feed hungrily. The daemon watched him, and approached, to get a closer look, and spoke again, only this time with a more angry tone. "You are me, but how is this possible? There is only one of me. It is my gift." He stopped feeding, as his demonic side felt the rage directed towards him by this Chrylsis. "I bear you no ill. I too wish to know who I am, and who you are. Are we not one of the same? A lesser form, and their greater?" The daemon let out a blast of rage towards him, sending him spinning across the landscape, tossed around like a rag doll, till he steadied his mind and stopped his motion. "No! I am the one, the only. This was my gift from the source, that I would be his champion. You are a falsity." "So why do I bear your power, your mark, your imprint? Why are you I, and I you?" The daemon stopped and moved to surround him, but he moved quickly to keep it at a safe distance, if there were such a thing, and it stopped moving altogether. "You should not be. Let us see what you are. Show me your true name." "It wants my true name?" "How can I tell you what I do not know?" he shouted back to it. "Give me your essence. Let me see what you are. You have seen me, and this is why you are here. Now show me your kind, so I may decide your fate." He reasoned simply that he was not touchable by this daemon, no matter its power, as he was after all on a prime, and within a host body. So he opened up and drew a small part of his essence from within, and let it flow through the air. The daemon looked at this thread, and as he did, took it in his own magic, and started to pull it apart, but in doing so realized something was wrong, very wrong, and shed a portion of its energies, moving back from the drawn thread. "You are the one that was gifted," it uttered. The maelstrom began to slow as he stopped feeding, his attention focused now upon him. "You are the one that has seen the host, has walked with the divine. You are the destroyer." He noticed that it was slowly gathering the power it had been channeling into the realm, back into itself, as though protecting itself. "You are my missing part, the part the source refused to gift to me. We were supposed to be one. We were supposed to be me. You took my power." And with that the skies rained down, the earth shook and upturned, and it all came his way, at once, in one realm-shattering strike. Against another daemon, this would have been very effective. Against him, however, it was a hindrance at best, for the host shell protected him from all mundane forms, as well as the demonic. So he just stood his ground, as it bore down on him through the storm of bodies, buildings, trees and stone that rained down upon him. It then began rending at his form, and despite its immense power, it could merely hold him, nothing more, as he stood his ground and bore the brunt of the attacks, This continued for many strikes, until the daemon realized he could not harm him. Not here, at least. Not upon the Prime. "I will take what was meant to be mine, but not this day. You cannot take my power, as we are the same. And were you to open your essence to me again, I would rend it from that shell and leave you a husk destroyer." "Why do you call me destroyer?" he asked, finally having his attention without claws and spikes flying. "Because of what you did to your own kind. You consumed their identities, their very essences. You removed their gifts from all existence. You tore them apart, unraveled their magic." "Their threads?" "Yes! You destroyed their identities, their very essence. They are gone, forever, never to return. And it's all because of you!" "I did not know. The daemon part of me. It has a hunger that will not quiet." "We all have that hunger, you fool!" "But I have tasted the host." You have what?" The daemon's voice now trembled, but not with anger or rage. "I have killed many of the host, what some call the divine, in the very place where they reside. And you know what? It was easy for me." He let the words sink in. "And since that time, I have never found anything to quell that hunger. The voices within me that demand I feed. The host can keep them at bay, but you see, the primes are also able to give me the same satiation, as you have shown me this day in your maelstrom." "The host is mine to destroy. It is what I was created for." "And yet I am better suited, brethren." They stood watching each other intently for a time, each waiting for the next action from the other. "So, I will leave this prime to your whim, destroyer. But when next we meet, I will dethrone your power, on my terms. For without your divinity, your host-crafted shell, you are nothing more than another daemon on which to feast. And now I have seen your threads, I know how to protect myself from you." "But tell me, you cannot create, can you? Where are your minions? I choose not to, and the source gifted me accordingly. So my power is absolute. But what is yours?" He smiled. "Oh, my power? I have none. None at all. Well, none of my own. I do, however, have all those that I have taken." The daemon looked on and nodded in understanding. "Ah, you are a thief of others, a doppelganger." He shook his head. "Oh no, you don't understand. I have all their powers." And with that, he began to channel forth a minion, their identity taking shape, and becoming one of the fallen host he had taken. The daemon began to back away, realizing that this was actually a creature of divinity. But this was not possible. "How?" he started, but the minion's host turned his hand towards him and pushed forth a dark magic, a demonically charged blast of divinity, a chaotic force of unbelievable power, of impossible origins, and it struck home, searing clear through the top few feet of the manifestation, and causing searing pain to the daemon itself. "You have made an enemy of my will this day, destroyer, and you will feel the sting of my spines, you abomination." With those words, a rift of energy wrapped itself around the immense bulk of the daemon, and within seconds it vanished, leaving a swath of destruction where it had been.